What's up, pinheads? We're here tonight. We're gonna do a little follow up on a previous show, kind of, sort of. We talked about things being based on a true story, and then right after, or pretty much, yeah, right after we did that episode, I think I posted a couple days after it came out, but the Ed Gein Monster Ed Gein Netflix series came out,
Yeah.
and we're gonna talk a little bit about that because that's right on par with what our last show was about. And yeah,
I mean, I wanted to like the show. I didn't.
I
I
think
mean,
everybody,
overall,
I think everybody wanted to like it. The hype on that was like really big.
yeah.
Yeah, I was really excited about it.
I apologize. I hope it's not too loud. I'm here on the runway at the local airport where you can
Nice.
hear everything going by, but it's just so beautiful outside and so friggin' hot inside. I decided to come out. But
Steve came
yeah, I
out,
mean,
guys.
I
Steve is
came out, came out. But no, I
well.
mean I'd say it took probably 2.5 to 3 episodes for me to almost give up on it.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you guys, but it was just slow and dragging, and which when you have a series that's that long, obviously there's going to be a lot of real slow plot building and things, but it just didn't do it for me. And I'd be intrigued to kind of look into how much of that was truth, was real, versus just made up for storytelling, because it seemed like a lot of that was out in left field.
Well, we
It
have
was.
Liza here, and Liza can definitely give us the key points of what was not real. But I'm going to go ahead and just be very blunt and straightforward about this. I thought this was a giant pile of shit. This was one of the worst things I've seen in a long time. I typically like these things a lot, and I like Charlie Hunnam, whatever the fuck his
Yeah.
name is. I like him a lot. He was great in
Jack.
Sons of Anarchy, and I like the Ed Gein story, and it inspired a lot of my favorite horror movies, as we talked about in the previous episode. If you didn't catch it, but this was a giant pile of trash. This was awful. Literally, uh, it's it's funny too because I've seen a lot of good comments on it. And I might get into a couple of those comments just so we can kind of criticize people here. Fuck it, why not? Rotten Tomatoes is at 18% with this, guys.
Ugh.
18.
Wow.
Roger Ebert gave it a 1.5 out of 4. Not that I really always put a lot of
Mm,
stock in his opinion, but I mean, I can't believe he
less.
even gave it a 1.5. I would say it's more of a zero point 0.5 out of 4 for me.
Hmm.
I don't
I
know
would
what they're
imagine
doing.
Siskel would
Sorry.
have dug himself up for the sake of this dumpster fire.
Oh my gosh.
It
It's
was. Yeah, I'm glad you said it first, because I agree, Jake.
Actually, I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was like that bad.
holy crap. Tell us why.
Well, well, I think it probably could only been 4 episodes.
That's my
Um,
point.
Bobby Hill wasn't in it, which is insane.
Well, he's in that new.
Um,
He's in the new episodes of King of the Hill, so he didn't
Yeah,
get
he's
time.
busy at Rabata Chain.
Yeah, exactly.
I heard somebody. I think I can't remember where I saw this, but because I've looked at so many things on this. Um, but somebody said that they think they tried to do it from his perspective, which I thought was interesting. I think what they basically did was every like just um story made up about him, every like rumor, speculation, they all combined it into one. The thing that I most did not like about it was how they portrayed Bernice Warden. I think that was really disrespectful of them to do that because like she was not in any kind of relationship whatsoever with him.
I go ahead and
Hmm.
say this. I wish. Okay, so like I understand a lot of times with movies, we like take beautiful actors and actresses and we put them in these roles because I mean honestly, like that's what people want to look at. People want to look at the hot actress and all that. And this movie was like I posted the pictures in the last episode. These people were not that attractive. They were not like it was. I mean, I just wish it. I wish sometimes it was even closer to that because I'm just like, I mean, I get it. Like the whole world wants to see attractive people, but I'm just like this girl that they basically made up that he had a relationship with that I've never even heard of before, quite honestly. I mean, I think I
Hmm.
read somewhere that there was this girl that claimed to have a relationship with him, and it was turned out that she was full of shit to try to get attention. That was
Yeah.
included in the story. I mean, like, you're telling me that that bombshell is interested in this weird guy that's walking around like, yeah, we're too strong. Yeah, we're too
I
strong.
have the same feelings inside that you do.
I mean,
Yeah,
in his voice, what the fuck is that? Even if that's how Ed Gein sounded, like the director should have made a choice to be like, you know what? That's ridiculous. We're
yeah.
not doing that.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't know, Liza. I think you're right on with the fact that it should have been much shorter. They tried to, what's Ryan Murphy? How are we going to make 12 hours of shit stew out of about 3 hours of real plot? And they
Yeah.
obviously incorporated so many other stories, which is another thing. I mean, and a lot of times it does work when you bounce back and forth between timelines, especially if they're pertinent or correlative to the story. But what's the point of bringing up something from the 70s or the late 50s or the 60s or whatever else if it hadn't even happened yet? I mean, this isn't. What did we watch? I mean, it
I mean,
felt like it.
I feel like they were trying to portray what we were talking about last episode, which was look at the influence that he had on all of these movies. Like look at all of these amazing movies that came from this story. And it's like, but I mean, in the context that they used it in and how they did it in this show, I would have been happier with them just at the end of the show being like, oh, by the way, this guy influenced Psycho and Texas Chainsaw and great.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like that, I
I
would have been okay with that. I didn't need to see like Alfred Hitchcock going through all of his shit. I didn't need to see,
yeah.
and I love Toby Hooper, and I mean that's cool and all, but like, I mean, I didn't need to really see all that either. I mean, it was just kind of
Mhm.
like it was distracting, is what it was.
Yeah.
And it also blurred the lines between what actually happened versus what was make believe and what was people's opinions
Exactly.
or what might
Exactly.
have been. So,
Yes. And I do want to say something too, like about the timeline with Bernice Warden. That was really skewed too because he shot Bernice Warden, and he was caught very closely after. It wasn't like it made it seem like it was days or weeks after he was caught after he murdered her, but it was not. He was caught like almost immediately after. So I thought that was kind of weird too. How they did that. And Adeline, she you're correct, like she the newspapers went to her and she said that she had a like a 20-year relationship with him, and then it was later came out that she was just an acquaintance of his.
Yeah, she wanted to
So
be part of the fucking story to make some money or get some fame from it. Which
yeah.
right.
a lot of people do that, but I mean, it's ridiculous and
I also feel,
and you, that I'm sorry, I just want to say this too. The fantasies, what I don't feel like I feel like those went wait where Isaac? There she is. I feel like the fantasies were like way too involved and developed and overly used as well. Like the Ilsa Koch or whatever, or Cock or
mhm,
Coke or
Coke. Yep.
yeah, whatever. I mean, why did we need that much of that? Like, I mean, I feel like the 2 seconds of him being like, "Wow, she's nifty" or whatever the hell would have been enough. We didn't need to see just whole scenes of whatever, her at the club and stuff. It was just, I don't know, man. That was distracting me too. It was all over the place, man.
I mean, it was like a Quantum Leap episode. I mean, I didn't. There were times when I was watching it, and I almost for a minute questioned, "Am I watching the right show? Like, did I by mistake select something else?" Or, um, they did go into way too much depth on a person who may or may not have influenced him. There's one thing to be influential. There's another thing to share almost the same amount of screen time as Ed Gein uh, with her. Um, it felt to me like they did a really overt job at trying to humanize him too, to try to make him likable and lovable as a character, almost like a Dexter Morgan, type of character. Um, with the fact that, I mean, he didn't help uh, police catch any serial killers. He didn't help anybody catch Ted Bundy or any of those other things. I don't know why Liza's in and out.
What are you doing?
He-
Do you know that you're going in and out? Do you see it?
yeah, she's gone for good now.
There she's gone. She's gone now.
But you
But
know
it's
what I
all right.
mean.
Yes, I don't know what the hell she was talking about anyway. That didn't make any sense.
But I mean, he didn't help, to my knowledge, any law enforcement catch anybody. They, I don't know. I think they did their best to try to make him a likable character, and I don't know.
Yeah, but
But
like, what is the point of that though? Like, the guy was. I mean, I don't think like in the case of Ed Gein, I don't think he was like such a sick, crazy, sadistic person that like he was just absolutely friggin' evil. Like honestly, he probably was a nice guy, honestly. But I mean, it's like, but the guy was still a grave robber and a murderer.
mhm.
Like, why are we? Why do we even need to like? We don't need to like him.
Yeah, that's the point. Like, what is the point of trying to do that? Trying to make him likable, and then to fabricate so many things. There was never any I guess, proof that he um was a necrophiliac or had sex with corpses. Although they made that clear that he was in the series. Um, so that was kind of strange
Well,
as
Liza, I'm
well.
glad you're back. If you can hear us, because I was editing our episode in Ed Gein, and you were saying specifically that he did not engage in sexual activity with the corpses, and that he did not have sex with basically any of those women. As far as I remember, I think you said he was even possibly a virgin. Like, where the fuck did she go? Man, what is there? A storm in Wilson? What the hell is going on?
She's she's doing the hokey pokey.
Well, I wanted to go ahead and like I wanted to give some other perspective on this, and obviously you and I feel the same way. But I see that there are some 5-star reviews up here. I want to go ahead and maybe read one just to kind of see what other people are saying, if you don't mind. But I got up here Ed Gein, a masterpiece of horror and authenticity. Monsters, the Ed Gein story, isn't a textbook biopic. It's a deeply disturbing and compulsively watchable exploration of a killer, freely using creative license to build its narrative. The series is anchored by Charlie Hunnam's spectacular performance. He doesn't just play Gein, he embodies him, going to great lengths, like studying voice recordings to deliver terrifying, authentic portrayal. That's what it is. I guess it did sound like that because he was studying this shit, I
Well, they
guess.
only had like one clip of him talking, and I heard it, and it was. I mean, it was an
Did it
affectation.
sound
He
like
was
that?
trying to. No, not that much. What Charlie Human or whatever his name is. What he was going for was, a bit of a feminine type of, because he was so much into his mother and listening to, you know to the women in his life or whatever, that he was trying to, uh, demasculate or emasculate himself from the standpoint of how he sounded. That he wasn't masculine in any way. That he was a kind of a follower and a softie. But
Well, if that's what
the
he's
voice
going
didn't do it
for,
for me.
good job, even though he sounded like a Muppet.
Hmm.
Like studying voice recordings to deliver a terrifying, authentic portrayal that many consider the most realistic Gein reenactment ever. The show successfully immerses you in the stark setting of the 1940s and 50s, and the events shown align remarkably well with historical reports. See, I don't think so. Everything that I've learned, I feel like they went way off base with a lot of shit. I don't feel like it was. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm the expert. I mean, Liza knows more than I do, but I have watched quite a
Absolutely.
bit of stuff on Ed Gein, and I've read quite a bit, and I'm interested in him because he has inspired so many movies, and I feel like it was way off. To finish this, he says, crucially, the series offers insight into the potential roots of Gein's sickness, focusing on his abusive childhood and the crushing influence of his overbearing mother. That part's true. It even smartly connects his crimes to cultural history, explaining his role as the inspiration for Hitchcock's Psycho. That part's true. It's a chilling, high quality production that succeeds in being both a gripping drama and a nuanced, if unsettling, character study. I think this guy or girl, this man or woman, I think is sleeping with the director or one of the stockholders. I don't know what's going on because I don't understand how anybody got that from what I saw.
Well, I mean, you always get certain people that will uh, rave about something that is garbage, and then other people that will claim something is garbage that is probably really, really good. I mean, it's just a matter of I mean, each person's perception, I suppose, and knowledge about things. If you don't know much about Ed Gein to start with, then maybe you could follow this along and kind of soak into it a little bit. But for those that know about his past and have a little bit more understanding of the history about him, all the fabrications, all the made up for cinema type of uh, episodes. Let's just say episodes. I mean, there. This thing was twice as long as it had to be,
Yeah.
and I just don't, and I don't like the fact that you're going to take, like with him with Adeline. I mean, she's damn near 50% of the show, right? Uh, and then for her to say, well, I'm going to New York. Why don't you try sleeping with corpses? And then he's like, yeah, okay. And then she comes back, and he can't sleep with a warm body, so she's got to get nice in an ice bath. What the hell are you doing? Like, what is like that was that there's nothing that proves that that happened, or so why do it? I guess unless you're just running out of ideas to fill time.
I think that they were trying to go for some sort of shock factor that like people that know anything about Ed Gein would see right through. Holy shit, that's loud.
Exactly. Well, also the whole thing with Evelyn too, like there was also a younger girl that went missing at the same time as Evelyn, and there's no evidence that he killed Evelyn whatsoever, other than that they did find some remains of a young girl that they thought to be about 15, the same age as Evelyn. But I thought that was really kind of weird too, that they made it like he actually killed her and stalked her, and she took his babysitting job, and that was bizarre.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
and he got
once
he
again,
got really
just
creepy about it.
trying to fill time. Liza, while you were, I don't know where you were, but and because you know a lot more about this dude than both Jake and I do, I had made a point of the fact that it felt like they were trying to make him a likable character, almost like Dexter from the series Dexter, and in doing so, making up different things, like when he was. I'd say imprisoned, but I know he was in a mental facility. But the fact that he helped police catch like Bundy and some of these other serial killers and stuff, that never happened to my knowledge. I mean,
I know a lot about Bundy. Bundy is one of my favorite serial killers. Because we're all weirdos and we have favorite serial killers, at least Liza and I do. And I really like Bundy. I've always found his story quite interesting, and I have never, in all of my research, all the documentaries and everything that I've seen on Ted Bundy, I've never heard anything about Ed Gein being involved whatsoever.
That was for the they're about to bring back Mindhunter, and I think that was for the Mindhunter thing, the Mindhunter show.
Well, that's great. That makes a lot of sense.
Um but yeah, the only thing I did say that I did actually like about what they showed at the end is that I feel like they did, like he never served prison time. He was never in prison. Because the judge deemed him very pretty mentally ill. And I'm not a psychologist, I can't diagnose, but I'm pretty sure he was schizophrenic with the hallucinations and things like that. And it did mention that in the show as well. And then it also said that when he was at his house, like he would have like, it's pretty rare to have visual hallucinations, but I'm pretty sure that he said that he did have visual hallucinations, especially in the book Deviant. He said that he saw the birds and they were like um yeah, he saw like birds. I think he said like they were bleeding or their guts were hanging out or something. Like he would see stuff, and he would
The
also have,
Hitchcock
yeah,
bases movie after that too.
I don't know,
It's kind
maybe.
of a scary thought, birds flying around with
Um,
like their intestines hanging.
but I did like that fact that they did bring that out, because I think that it shows that the mental abuse that he had with his mother, as well as the isolation that bred this thing in him. And I think it's interesting because I in a last episode, Steve, you were talking about like this could have happened anywhere, like, and it probably is happening, and it could happen in the middle of the nowhere because people don't have access to people's houses unless you have evidence or you have speculation against them or whatnot. And it is pretty scary because there's a lot of these types of mental illnesses that are kind of bred in these awful situations. And then he was alone, like his father died, his brother died, his mother died, and he was alone on hundreds of acres. And so I thought that was really interesting that they brought that aspect up. And another aspect that I didn't really think about, it wasn't that I don't necessarily think that he did want to be a woman. It was the fact that he was kind of creating this kind of almost anger towards them, that he wanted, because the doctor kind of brought it up at the end, that he wanted to like almost consume them.
What was that term that the doctor said? What was he, like a
Yeah.
gynecologist? What
I
was
know
the
what you're
word?
talking about. I can't remember what he said, but I thought that was, I never thought about that before. And I thought that was actually pretty fascinating.
But he was just the term meant that he was just overtly fascinated with the female body. I mean, I'd say that's true of most
Or
straight men, but
I think it was more like, I think it was completely different. Like it was completely different than being um transsexual or anything like that. It was almost a way of completely owning the women that he killed and completely owning the women's bodies that he killed. It was kind of more of like um going inside of them and becoming them, and it wasn't more of like a sexual thing or like a need to want to be a woman. It was more kind of, I think it was almost like the doctor did describe it in a much better way than I could, but I thought that aspect of Ed Gein was very interesting because to um kind of look at some of the stuff and read the books and everything, it does kind of almost seem like, and his mother did want a girl. Like his mother, after she had his brother and then she had him, she really did want to be a girl because she did not like men and things like that.
I
um
did like the choice of his mother in the movie. Honestly, I
I
like
think
her as
his
an
mother looked a
actress.
lot different than that, but
Yeah, but I like her as an actress. I
yeah.
mean,
Oh
she was
yeah.
on Roseanne back in the day, and she was on Big Bang Theory. And I
Yeah.
enjoyed her.
yeah, I
I
would
don't
say
think it
she was one of the
portrayed,
highlights of the actual series was her
yeah,
performance.
I think it portrayed her in a much better light than she actually was, though. I will say that.
Yeah, and of course she was much more like attractive than Ed Gein's
No,
mother
I mean,
because
like,
I mean,
I think she was way more abusive. Um,
oh yeah,
and
for
way
sure.
more manipulative because there's a story that he tells about why he hates women as well, like harlots, because him and his mother almost at the end of her life, they went to see a farmer, and the farmer ran out and he murdered a puppy or a dog, or I think it was like a young dog. And this woman came out and was trying to stop him, and his mother, Ed Gein said his mother had a stroke because she was so distraught, not by the puppy but by the woman was there, and she was unmarried to the farmer, and this harlot made her have a stroke and die. So his mother was not a good person at all. Like she was actually like pretty mentally and pretty mentally abusive
Well,
to
and
him.
that's another point right there is that if a lot of the stuff that they did in this show was for shock value, was for like to make people like, oh my god, about the story of Ed Gein, like why didn't they push the limits on his mother? I mean, like why
Hmm.
didn't they really show her to be like a crazy psychopath? Because I mean, if they're gonna take all of the artistic rights and stuff that they did with his story to begin with, I mean, why didn't they take that a level?
They took one thing that she may have said, like only a mother could love you. Like they took that one thing that he said one time that she may have said, like when he was little. Like they took that to the extreme, and like that was something that she said all the time. I
Hmm.
thought
I mean,
that was
she should have
weird.
ran around the house beating his dick with a Bible or something. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you're gonna make it crazy, let's make it crazy. Let's go all the way. Let's go all the way.
Well, it's also funny how hypocritical she was, even though she said that she only laid with her husband twice. I mean, bada bing, bada boom, two boys. But I mean, at what point in time did her mind start to sour towards men? Was it before having children or afterwards? So
I mean, I think the poor thing never had an orgasm. That's probably what her problem.
I mean, it was the. I mean, she hated men. She did not like them. She thought all women were whores. So I think she was just an unhappy person.
Yeah,
I
I
would
guess
agree.
so.
So
But
I don't want to get away too far, but I've heard that they're making Lizzie Borden Monster 2. For God's sakes, are they going to have 12 episodes of 2 hours on what happened inside of 15 minutes? I mean, what are they going to do with that?
I had mentioned this when we were talking about it earlier, but they already did like a Lizzie Borden story, not Monster, but they used
Christina Ricci.
Christina Ricci, and
Hmm.
I mean, it wasn't bad, but even that was kind of like, I mean, there isn't a whole lot to that story. It's not really interesting enough to have more than maybe 2 or 3 episodes. I mean, it's
No.
Yeah,
just
I mean, you
not.
could make an hour and a half movie off of something, but you can't turn it into a mini series.
I don't see they're gonna have to probably really push it on that and do some crazy stuff too that's very far from the truth because I don't see how they could possibly get like a whole series out of that. I mean, even the one with Christina Ricci, like I said, it was good, but it was like I mean, it was a lot longer than it needed to be even for that because I mean the story is I mean you could sum that story up in about 45 minutes, really.
Exactly. I think a good one for them to do and a fascinating one and an outrageous one for and I think would be fun for him to do would be H.H. Holmes.
Yeah, well, H.H. Holmes or like Ted Bundy, like those guys had enough crimes. There's enough meat that you could really make
But
a
there's been
series out of it. But
there's been a lot of things about Ted Bundy though. I feel like I've seen
yeah,
so
but
many things
I
about
mean,
him.
I enjoy a good Ted Bundy story. I mean, I did want to mention though that like it didn't rate very well either, but there was a Ed Gein movie. It was the Steve Railsback Ed Gein movie. I watched that one a while back, and I thought that one was pretty good. I thought it was a lot closer to what I know of Ed Gein. If anybody wants to check that out, I feel like it was a better watch than Monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be intrigued to see how it compares. Um, I mean, I do feel though, if they were to have cut out all the extra fluff and just like, I mean, there was a lot of meat on the bone, no pun intended, for Ed Gein. I mean, you could have really made like a maybe 5 hour hour and 15 minute episodes and really got into
Yeah.
depth and followed it truthfully as opposed to just
Yes.
like Jake said, making artistic, you know, changes all along to try to either like the character more or hate somebody more or whatever else. It
Exactly.
was very disjointed, and I didn't like it. And I support the 18% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I feel
Yeah.
like 90% of this thing to me, like if I was to edit this thing, first of all, I would cut out about 80% of Ilsa Coke,
Yeah.
whatever. I'd cut out 80% of that. I'd cut out most of the stuff with Adeline. I might leave like one or two little things that, make sense or whatever there, but I'd cut out most of that. And I'd probably take out all the Alfred Hitchcock, all the Toby Hooper stuff, because that was, I mean, if you take out all that stuff, I mean, what are you looking at really? Probably just a couple hours, but I mean, that would have been a really good, impactful couple of hours.
Mm-hmm. Well, I agree.
Was really I thought it was I do remember when you were talking about that. I do think it was interesting that they did bring up that parallel between Ed Gein and Anthony Perkins because Anthony Perkins was abused by his mother, and I thought that that was
Anthony
interesting.
Perkins or
Hmm.
Norman Bates?
Anthony Perkins,
Anthony Perkins was, okay.
yes, in real life,
In
um,
real life, okay.
hmm
That's what I was.
baby. but yeah, so I thought that was interesting that they brought that up. Um, because that was a parallel between Anthony Perkins and Norman Bates as well
They
as
got
Ed
really
Gein.
into Anthony Perkins though in this show,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
I don't really understand why it wasn't a show about Anthony Perkins.
Yeah.
Like, why did we need to go that deep on Anthony? I don't know, man. There was so much so much extra crap. Like I said, I felt like it was so distracting. Like, why am I watching this thing about Anthony Perkins now? Like, what? Why? I mean, why am I watching Alfred Hitchcock and what he went through? Like, where? What? Like,
And
why?
they
And I
and
mean,
they
it wasn't even. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm passionate about this. I'm gonna go for a second, but they didn't even like. It wasn't even like it was all 100% about just the influence of Ed Gein on this movie. Like, it was also like getting into like Alfred Hitchcock and Anthony Perkins' personal shit. Like, we didn't need to really go there.
yeah.
Right. I mean, I feel
Did
if
it
they
have
were
nothing to
to
do
have
with Ed Gein?
pulled from something that happened prior to that influenced Ed Gein to do some of the things that he did, then that's great. But I don't want to jump 20 years into the future, uh, you know, and find out what. I mean, he's influenced everybody at some point in time who's ever heard of him. So, I mean, what the hell? But I mean, the scene, it was damn near first episode, I think, maybe even the first few minutes, um, which feels like 75 years ago after watching this thing. But uh, when his girlfriend to be, which I once again humanizing him, giving him a love interest, somebody to follow along throughout the show to either like or dislike. Like I just think they wrote it too much like a soap opera than anything else. But
Yeah.
um,
On
when
that,
yeah, no, I'm just saying the scene where she gives him the tin and he sees the photos of the dead bodies, and even reads the magazine, sees the magazine from that. That's all you needed. You could even cut to him reading the magazine every once in a while, but like that's all you needed to know about that. You didn't need to go
yeah,
into
we
her
didn't
the
need
depth
all
of
of
her
the
life.
fancy cuts and everything like that.
No.
But that was another point I was going to say is that I thought that even that was funny. Even the details of this were funny because Ed Gein goes in and he sits down and he's at that diner or wherever he is, the malt shop or whatever it is that they have back then. And he looks over at the two girls and talks to them, and then the guy that works there, whatever you want to call him, waiter, I don't know. He's like, "Don't bother those girls," like Ed Gein's some kind of weirdo creep dude, and it's like, okay, well, he's kind of a weirdo creep dude. All right, people in the town think he's a weirdo,
That was
but
the
then
most
like
realistic.
but then the hottest girl on the fucking movie walks in and sits with him. And it's like, this guy's a pimp, man. Like, why are you telling him he can't talk to girls? He's doing fine. Like, let
Hmm.
him be. Because obviously, the hottest woman in the entire show comes in and sits with him and is sharing a drink with him, two straws. And, like, what? Why can't he talk to other girls, man? He's fine. Like, he can't be that fucking weird. I
Yeah.
just don't get it. And even the details like that were so stupid to me. Like, I'm just like, okay, he's a weirdo. And then that girl walks in, I'm like, hold up. Like, this dude is shit. Like, wow, this girl
Yeah.
likes him? Cool. Like, those other girls were dogs compared to this girl that just walked in. Like, what's the problem?
Other thing that bothered me a lot was that his house was completely disgusting. It was like so gross. He would eat a can of pork and beans and just throw the can like there was trash everywhere. Just it was gross.
Cans of pork and beans and Burger King? What'd you just say?
And just cans of pork and beans and just throw the can. And when his mother died, he boarded up her room and closed it off. And they said when the police went in there, they said it was like they went into like a whole nother universe, like a whole nother house. Like
Yeah, they didn't
her room
even.
was completely, her room was completely pristine except for dust, and the clothes were folded in the drawer. And in that movie, it looked like he was just like a bachelor, just like cleaned up, and his house was absolutely disgusting.
Yeah. I'm honestly upset. The more we talk about this, the more angry I'm getting about how far this is and how ridiculous this is. And you know what it makes me question? Because I actually like the monster about the Menendez brothers. It makes
Yeah,
me wonder, like, how far off was that shit? Because now I'm not. You're breaking my trust here, man. I don't believe anything. This monster show, if it's made by the same people, it's like, What I mean, has all of your stuff been bullshit? Because this was bullshit, you
I
know?
think there was a lot. I think it looks. I remember a lot of that being not. I don't know as much about that case, but I think there was a few. There was some things that were fabricated in that as
Yeah, that
well.
made them look like they were like, incestual or something at times. Like it was really weird. I remember that part of it. I was like, these brothers, like I've never seen two brothers act the way that these.
But the Ed Gein
I
was
think I think they were like in love with
extremely.
each other. But that's a whole nother thing.
After reading Deviant and doing a whole lot of research on him, it was really weird to watch this because it was like, okay,
A whole bunch of bullshit. Well, a whole bunch of bullshit
It's almost
somehow.
like they all got, the director and all his closest people all got in a room and they're just like, all right, guys, throw some ideas. And then he took all of them. He's like,
yes,
you know, he's going to cut his lip on the water fountain and fall and slip in somebody's shit. Throw it in there. Like it's just they took everything that anybody could have come up with and just slapped it into this series. And
the whole Richard
yeah,
Peck thing that was.
yeah,
It's all it's that it, yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and I don't even want to go much longer because I'm just angry. Unless you guys got more to say, but I'm gonna go ahead and say that, like for real, 100% honest. If I'm going 1 out of 10 on this thing, like a rating of 1 out of 10, I'm giving this thing like I'm gonna give it like a one. Honestly, I'm gonna give it like a one, and I'm dead serious. And the worst part is like the production value wasn't bad, the casting wasn't that bad, but like this script and like just how they put it all together is just an absolute friggin' mess. It's just terrible, just terrible.
yeah. It's like they try to take three different stories and combine them into one by
Yeah.
following Hitchcock and you know, yeah. I might give it another point or two, maybe give it a three for the sake of there was some good acting here and there. His mother, I think, probably stole the show in reality. Um, but
She's a clown.
I wasn't blown away, and I'm not an actor. I don't claim to, know anything about acting, but it didn't feel to me like. I mean, there are people on Facebook and other social media that are. I mean, he deserves the Nobel Peace Prize, let alone, all these awards for how amazing he did at creating this character. And
Charlie Hunnam.
yeah, and I'm like, I mean, he spoke his lines out, and he did them like a inebriated Kermit the Frog. But other than that, I mean, I
Look,
didn't
man,
see anything spectacular there.
I'm kind of a fan of his. I really liked his character in Sons of Anarchy. I even go all the
Yeah.
way back with him with to Green Street Hooligans, which if nobody's seen that, that's a great movie. It's got Elijah Wood, and the
50
guy is
Shades
a
of
good
Grey.
actor. Huh? What'd you say? I didn't hear you.
He wasn't in 50 Shades.
I guess I didn't want to hear you. I don't know. But
I've got. It's like they're letting out a damn. What is it? 5 o'clock somewhere? I don't get it.
point is that I've been a fan of his, and if he was going to get an award for anything, be just even the other two things I mentioned, Green Street Hooligans or Sons of Anarchy. I mean, his acting is not bad, but this was like whoever told him to act that way. I mean, he doesn't. Just it's fucking terrible.
It was it was pretty bad.
Couldn't get
Um
over his voice. I couldn't take it seriously. It was like listening to like it was. Oh
You,
my god, it was
you know
so
who?
bad.
It remind me of? Zoolander in his blue steel.
See, you said Zoolander. I was thinking Kermit the Frog, man. I couldn't get it out of my head the whole time. He's talking, and I'm just like, if I closed my eyes, I would think I was watching like the Muppets or some shit. Like, what is he doing? That's a made
Mother,
up voice.
please
That's
calm
the
down, mother. Yeah,
that's the
I
kind of voice that somebody would make up for a cartoon series.
I know. I don't know.
I really did like. I liked the acting. To be honest with you, I did almost stop watching it. I watched it, stopped watching it for about a couple of days, and then I
I had to
picked it back
force
up.
myself to finish
Yeah.
this thing.
Me too.
Um.
If we weren't doing this show, I would have said, "Forget it, guys. This is terrible."
I had to
Yeah.
force myself. I hated it. I didn't
Yeah.
want to watch it. It was hard to do.
I'd give it, but I think even though I think it could have been like probably 3 episodes. The last 2 episodes kind of redeemed it a little bit, but not quite. I would give it maybe like a 3 or a 4, because the acting and I
You
think
guys
it
are
was.
generous as hell. When I make a movie, I want you guys to rate it because you're gonna give me like a 10 because you guys are really generous. This series was terrible,
I feel as though it
terrible.
deserved a 3 at best.
Or Michael
Oh,
Jackson.
bless
See, now I'm
That
kind of
it.
like the
voice,
little
man,
Michael
is
Jackson hater,
so
man.
bad.
That voice was awful. And
How
I mean,
tall
like,
is that guy too? He's got to be
I
like
think he's
6'1",
6'1".
maybe.
I
Yeah,
think he's
and
6'1".
Gain was like 5'6", 5'7".
Yeah, he was a tiny little thing.
and that
He
was
was
the other
strong
thing
though.
too.
He
And
was
that was the other
strong.
thing too is like Hunnam is like he's his stature and the way he looks like, man, that voice did not fit him. I don't know what Gein sounded like. I have no idea, but that was a bad decision.
Yeah,
And
he's
if you're
6
gonna take
foot.
creative, you're gonna take creative liberties, man. Like somebody was nobody on the set to be like, hey, honestly, this voice is fucking stupid. Like, let's not do that.
Yeah.
Nobody
Probably,
said
but
that.
he's the lead role. I mean, it's like a matter of you say something or you just let somebody cook, and he cooked all right. All the whole show was
I
And
mean, if
it
they
was
I know,
embarrassing.
and it was, even with that eye thing, he was still really attractive. So I think it was really weird too, because I think a lot of women were like torn because like he was really attractive. And then, but it was
why
like,
is it Gein so sexy?
yeah, so it was
Ah.
like really weird at the same time. So it's like, yeah, and then he
Oh,
was like, and they didn't have indoor plumbing in that house. So Ed Gein was really not
He's probably shitting
hygienical.
in his empty cans of Franks and beans.
Yeah.
when the first scene where they showed him wearing a skin mask face, all I could see was Mrs. Doubtfire. I mean, it was hilarious. Like
Maybe Mrs. Doubtfire was inspired by Ed Gein. Maybe they should have done a whole
probably.
episode about that. You know,
Yeah.
this was bad. This was so bad. I don't
It
even want to talk
was.
about it anymore. Do you guys have anything else? Because I'm done.
Well, I
I'm
I, I
Yeah,
want to
pissed
say
off
I
now.
want to say a fun fact. I actually, like, I've never seen 50 Shades of Grey, but I think Charlie Hunnam was supposed to be in 50 Shades of Grey, but then it was actually not him. It was a different actor. So when you said that, I was like, wasn't he in 50 Shades of Grey? But he wasn't. So I thought that was funny.
Oh, I didn't even hear what you said, but you're wrong. He wasn't in that. I
I
think
know
they talked about him being in that, but
they
he
did. He
turned
was
that
supposed to
shit
be in it.
down. He turned that shit down, and that
Yeah.
makes me feel like he's an intelligent man. And then he goes with his voice. Like,
Yeah.
hmm
oh my
I don't know.
god.
I mean, for the love of God, somebody tell me why this is a good series. Tell me why everybody is on board with it and thinks it's good, because
And it was so
I don't
weird
see
and
it.
cringy. Like, there's like this older woman who's like, I'm all wearing this bra, and he's like, let me try it on. And like, it's the most, I don't know, man. It was like the whole thing. It
And
wasn't
that
even
was
like,
not real.
like, I think the director is a weirdo, and he's like, I'm going to put in some shit that I feel like I want to do or something. Like, I want to wear
Creepy babysitter, and he was not a creepy babysitter.
yeah.
Well, Adeline, his girlfriend slash whatever else. I mean, she's Adeline Gein. I mean, so you like you like killing people and cutting up dead bodies, and me too. I think I like that too. Like how,
So
and
stupid.
like Jake says, she happens to be probably the most attractive female in the whole show. It just seemed very out of proportion and unrealistic.
It was all a bunch of horse shit. The
Yeah.
whole thing. From
It wasn't
beginning to
sea
end, it was just
magic.
a bunch of crap. Like, oh my god, getting a headache, guys.
All
Jake,
right.
if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge Ed Gain. That's all I want to remember that guy from is Dodgeball, because I don't like his directing ability.
The guy made Dodgeball?
He was in Dodgeball, wasn't he? That skinny dude.
Is that who? I thought that was the other thing we were talking about. No, man, you're talking, oh my god, you're all mixed up. That was the director from the show we did about the other woman.
Oh, that's right. I thought that's right. Yeah, I thought he did this one too. No, you're right.
I know. All right, we're off the rails, and I'm just getting a headache from thinking about how bad this was. You guys are too generous. This thing is a 1. at best. It's terrible. I hope it disappears. I hope everybody forgets it happened. I hope the next monster's better. I don't even know if I want to watch the next monster, quite honestly, because they had a good thing going. Everybody was excited about this. Literally, the hype on this thing was incredible. I
Yeah.
don't think that the hype is why people didn't like it, though. Like, I
No.
know sometimes you're like built up and you're like, wow, that wasn't as good as I thought it'd be. But with this, it's like, I think it literally was just a piece of shit. Like, it's just no
with
good, man.
with with possibilities. That's the worst part about it, is when you have something that falls way short. And in my opinion, obviously this did. But there was so much there to be able to really made something interesting, intriguing. But
I see
maybe it
something
wouldn't have been
like
a
Exactly.
Netflix special though.
I think so.
I've been writing horror novels, and hopefully some of them will be coming out soon. And I eventually would like to make some horror short films. And I feel like, honestly, watching this makes me confident that I can do it because I know that I have better instincts than the people that put this piece of shit together. Like
Exactly.
I could have, if I was in the editing room, I could have made this watch. This was terrible, and I don't understand how nobody stopped it. Like it was just like, is this a bad example of groupthink? Why did nobody stop it? Why did nobody say, hey, we went off the fucking rails? This stuff's distracting. People won't like it. His voice is stupid. It makes no sense that he can't talk to these girls, and then his girlfriend is the hottest girl in the movie. The whole thing makes no sense. Why did nobody stop it? Stop any of it. Why did nobody like stand up to the? I would have quit if I was there and he was like, "No, we're doing it this way." I would have been like, "Don't put my name in the credits. I fucking quit. I don't want my name associated with this piece of shit." Straight up, that's how I feel.
Monster,
Sticking to it.
long legs. Which one?
Long legs, and I know that you did that just because you want to hear me like say something good about that. But I
Uh,
mean, like at least the redeemable quality is Long Legs wasn't 8 fucking super long episodes.
that's true.
If it was, I would think it would be comparable. I think it would be comparable if it was. If it was 8 episodes of Long Legs, I'd be like, that's the second or maybe tied for the worst piece of shit series I've ever seen.
I was halfway through the third episode, and I'm like, "Oh my god, what is going on with all of this stuff? Like, is this just going to be a hodgepodge of just blended shit altogether?"
Yes.
I mean,
And I
yeah,
remember when I was watching it, and you literally like I was on about the third or fourth episode, and you said something to me about like, what is this? Isn't it like 8 episodes? And I was like, are you kidding me? I stopped on like episode 5, and I literally had to force myself to watch final 3.
hmm
I didn't care.
and
I
they
wasn't
felt
invested.
long. They felt
I just
long.
wanted it to be over. I just wanted it to fucking end. Eliza liked it, so there's that. Yeah,
Like this episode, time to end it.
that's
Ugh,
what she said. Ending it with that
terrible.
fucking garbage. Garbage.
Yeah, somebody tell us why this was good. Somebody's got to have an opinion out there of why it's good.
And done. Fuck it.